Well, Mason, how you doing, buddy? I didn't read a story yesterday. I'm sorry, I was really tired. But today, we're going to do the Jungle Book. Not the original by Rudyard Kipling, but is reimagined by Robert Hunter. I'll read you the real book when you get a little older. "10 years ago, dawn was just beginning to break when a strange sound echoed through the jungle. Wah, wah. All the animals crept closer to find out what was making this unfamiliar noise. They were deeply shocked to discover the sound was the cry of a man cub, and that one of their kind had broken the law of the jungle. Shere Khan, the tiger, had stolen the man cub. This was forbidden and an unforgivable act among all that lived in the jungle. The other animals united against him, and seeing this, Shere Khan had no choice but to give up his prize, and he was banished from the jungle, never to return. Bagheera, the panther, stepped forward to return the man cub to his own kind. But as he approached the city, he saw that it was as big and dangerous as the jungle. There was no way of knowing who the man cub belonged to, and without a family to protect him, he could never survive. So Bagheera trusted a pack of street dogs to raise the boy until he could find the right people to look after him. The Jungle Book, Mowgli's story. The man cub became known as Mowgli, and for 10 years he lived happily among the pack. They taught him where to scavenge for food and how to hide in the shadows. And Bagheera would visit often, and while he was sure that Mowgli was happy, he could see that the man cub still had much to learn. Everything changed when Kite, the little bird, brought news that Shere Khan had returned. "The tiger wants his revenge on the man cub for having him banished," Kite explained. "Well, the pack is no match for the tigers," said Bagheera. "I will take Mowgli into the jungle to hide, while Shere Khan searches the city outskirts for him." And so it was that Bagheera and Mowgli left the pack and stepped into the cover of the forest. "Listen carefully, man cub, and you will learn the laws of the jungle," said Bagheera. "And some day they may save your life." Bagheera asked his good friend Baloo, the bear, to help him teach Mowgli. "Oh, it won't be long until you know more about the jungle than me," said Baloo. "And I will be bigger and stronger than you, too," said Mowgli. Well, Baloo and Bagheera showed Mowgli how to hide himself. But Mowgli wanted to play a different game. And Baloo explained how important it was to be patient and quiet while hunting. But Mowgli missed his chance to strike. And Bagheera began to tell Mowgli that only man can control fire. But the man cub didn't seem interested. Mowgli soon tired of being taught the laws of the jungle and wondered when they were going to have some fun. But Bagheera wouldn't let him rest until he had learned the most important lesson of all: how to make the jungle call. "If you're ever in trouble, you can make this sound," said Bagheera. "And try after me," said Baloo. "All right, Mason, you ready?" Oh! Go on, Mowgli, said Bagheera. Try the jungle call. But the call was difficult, and Mowgli struggled to make this strange sound. Again, said Bagheera, after every attempt. Do it again, do it again. And Mowgli shouted and shouted until his throat was sore. I'll never need anyone's help anyway, said Mowgli, and I'm bored of all your stupid lessons. Well, if you don't learn these lessons, you'll be as hopeless as the lawless monkeys, said Bagheera. Well, I'd rather be a lawless monkey than like boring old Bagheera, shouted Mowgli. Oh, the man cub is just tired, said Baloo later that night. Well, he can't rely on the protection of the pack forever, replied Bagheera. It's hard to know where he belongs. The people of the city overlook him, and I don't think he will ever learn enough to be one of us. Well, upset by what he had heard Bagheera and Baloo saying about him, Mowgli left at first light to be on his own. It wasn't long before Mowgli's time alone was interrupted. A rustling sound came from the branches in the trees above, and with sudden shrieks of laughter, whoo, 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 hee, 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 down swung those creatures Bagheera had warned him against. The lawless monkeys. Whoo, 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 hee, hee, hee. Was Bagheera wrong, thought Mowgli? These monkeys seem friendly. They don't think about laws and rules and only want to have fun. Come with us, called the monkeys. We're practically a family. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Screech, screech. But the fun began to fade fast. Come with us, the monkeys repeated. You can make us a man city. Then Mowgli was tired and wanted to leave, but the monkeys grabbed him. Let go of me, he shouted. We're taking you home, Ha 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 ha, you belong with us. Well, when they awoke, Bagheera and Baloo were horrified to discover that Mowgli had disappeared. Oh, I know I was hard on the man cub, said Bagheera, but I only want what is best for him. We'll find Mowgli, replied Baloo. Look, here's Kaa. Have you seen a man cub pass through here, Kaa? The monkeys have taken him, said Kaa. Come with me, and I will take you to the man cub. I was just about to seek out my dinner anyway, and I love monkey. Kaa tracked the sound of the monkeys to their lair inside the old ruins, and as they crossed the crumbling wall, they could hear shouting coming from within. I want to go home, pleaded Mowgli. This is your home, now get to work, screeched the monkeys. Well, Mowgli tried to run, but he was surrounded, and Kaa spotted the man cub and silently slithered closer, getting ready to strike. Here he comes. The snake prepared to strike. And boy, did he strike. Yay! Oh, wrapping up those monkeys. There's Mowgli. Mowgli's got to get away before he gets wrapped up in those coils. Oh, he's got them all wrapped up. The monkeys thrashed around in the water, and Mowgli managed to scramble to safety before Kaa tightened his coils around the monkeys. Oh, what were you thinking, man cub? Taking off on your own, said Bagheera. Leave me alone, answered Mowgli. I can take care of myself. It's just like you said, Bagheera, shouted Mowgli. I'll never be one of you. And with this, Mowgli turned from Bagheera and Baloo and climbed away from the ruins. Remember, called Baloo, if you get into trouble, use the jungle call. And he made the sound which carried through the night, mournful and long. Oh! But Mowgli had already gone. With a heavy heart, Mowgli walked through the night until he could see the lights of the city. And soon he spied one of his pack dogs in the shadows, limping as he ran toward him. Shere Khan has returned, said the dog, and he threatens to kill anyone who protects you. Well, Mowgli could not stand the thought that the pack had suffered because of him. He decided to return to the streets, to face the tiger. Mowgli knew what he must do, and thinking back to his time in the jungle, he camouflaged himself and hid among the cattle in the marketplace, waiting patiently for Shere Khan to return. When he arrives, I will startle the cattle and charge the tiger out of the streets, thought Mowgli. Well, there was movement in the shadows. Mowgli was ready. And then, suddenly, Shere Khan erupted from the darkness. The mighty tiger leapt right over the cattle, scattering them across the marketplace. The plan had failed. Well, with no time to think, Mowgli simply opened his mouth to make the call that could save his life. Oh! And no sooner than the call had left Mowgli's lips, his two friends leaped by his side to face the tiger. They crashed and rolled in full view of the morning market. Mowgli stumbled to the floor as Bagheera was pinned beneath Shere Khan. Only man can control fire, remembered Mowgli, and he grabbed a flaming torch to frighten the tiger away. Keep away from my friends, roared Mowgli, brandishing the blazing flames. I'm not afraid of you, and I never will be. Mowgli charged at Shere Khan, swiping the fire left and right, adding a couple more stripes to his tail. Well, the tiger cowered at the burning flames and fled to the jungle. Leave and never come back, shouted Mowgli. Well, the people in the market that witnessed this scene just whooped and cheered. Hurrah, hurrah, huzzah! Never before had they seen such bravery, and from a boy. They gathered closer to meet the boy who fought the fierce tiger. Who is he, they asked. Where does he come from? Oh, you're a hero, they shouted. Thank you, thank you. And they brought him food and a nice new blanket. And it was then that Bagheera could finally let Mowgli go. He knew the man-cub had found his place in the world and would live to be happy among the people in the city. They're carrying him on their shoulders in a big parade. But Mowgli would never forget his friends in the jungle or the call that saved his life. Oh! The end.